Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? The New York Knicks are coming off what a win last night for the New York Knicks. I mean, we just beat the best team in the Eastern Conference on TNT, on prime time. RJ Barrett hitting the game winner in the corner in overtime. Julius Randle continuing to play like an absolute star. Jalen Brunson continuing his dominance with 29 points and 7 dimes. Emmanuel quickly off the bench with 17. Wow, what a game last night. What a game last night. I think that was probably one of the best Knicks wins, not only this season, but in quite some time, man, because what this did is it put the Knicks on the map. It's letting the rest of the Eastern Conference know that this Knicks team is for real. And what I mean they're for real, I mean that they are a playoff team. Without Mitchell Robinson, it's been a tough stretch these past couple of weeks. We lose 4 in a row. We get a big-time dub against the Cavs. We get a big-time dub against the Celtics. Now, can we get another big-time dub against Brooklyn? Because then we're going to be really starting to talk about some things. Because that will tell you that this Knicks team can compete with anybody. Because when you're a Knicks squad that beats the Cleveland Cavaliers at home, goes into Boston and beats the Celtics, and if we can go into Brooklyn and beat them tomorrow, oh, my man. Oh, man. So, guys, welcome back to Knicks Media. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, man. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the live chat about the New York Knicks. What's been standing out to you guys the most? What's been getting you the most excited about this team, man? There's a lot of things that I want to break down, and I just want to say, man, thank you for tuning into Knicks Media. It's been a crazy season so far for the Knicks, man. So many highs and so many lows. It's just like, this is a great win streak. Oh, well, here's another losing streak. Win streak, lose streak. When will they find some consistency? They love to reel us in on a nice 5-game winning streak just to lose 4 in a row and just to go on another winning streak. But hey, you take what you get. And this Knicks squad right now, they're sitting at, I think, 7th in the Eastern Conference, a half game behind the Miami Heat for that 6th seed. I could be wrong. But at this stage of the season, with Mitchell Robinson down, having Jericho Sims step in there the way he played last night with Isaiah Hartenstein, they're not Mitchell Robinson, but they're still playing at the caliber. So, guys, welcome into the stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got that man, David. Let's go Knicks. Yes, sir. Dre says, we look good. Oh, yeah, baby. Drip says, salute. Let's go New York Knicks. Salute to you, my friend. Jeff says, quickly is a huge part of this team. Without him, we wouldn't even be in the playoff conversation. And I'm so happy you bring this up, Jeff, because I did want to highlight Emmanuel Quickly big time, because there's a lot of rumors about Emmanuel Quickly being traded before the season and early on in the season, and now we're hearing reports that the Knicks are not interested in trading him at all, which they shouldn't ever. They shouldn't even considered it, because Emmanuel Quickly is the key to the bench. He is that spark plug off the bench to help out the offensive unit. Because if you think of the second unit, it's Emmanuel Quickly, Deuce McBride, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein running with RJ Barrett. Now, RJ Barrett is the star. We know that Tom Thibodeau loves his 9-man rotations. And when you have a 9-man rotation, that means you'll always have a starting player with the bench. And RJ Barrett is that guy. We know what Tom Thibodeau brings to the table in terms of his rotations by now. RJ Barrett's the first one to sit in the first quarter because he's getting a rest. So when the second unit comes in, RJ comes back out there. And it's basically Emmanuel Quickly and it's RJ Barrett as the only offensive weapons off the bench. Obi Toppin has been playing a little better basketball for sure, but Emmanuel Quickly, you cannot say enough good things about him. Not only is he going to the paint and he's hitting those efficient floaters and his three-point jump shot is up right now, but also his defense has been the biggest improvement, I think, in his game in his year 3 breakout season, man. Emmanuel Quickly is a player that is a fan favorite. He was one of my favorite players on this team when he was a rookie, and he continues to keep going. And I think IQ is the key, man. I think IQ is the key, and I'm happy that Jeff brought it up. Salute. We got King Ribby in the chat. Hit them like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much, my friend. We appreciate all the support, my guy. Let's go. Big time Brunson. Got to bring up my guy, Jalen Brunson, bro. We heard last night, if Jalen Brunson makes the All-Star game, he's the first Knicks point guard to do that since who? Mark Jackson in 1989. We are witnessing the best Knicks point guard of my lifetime. I'm about to turn 25 years old, so obviously was not alive for I was born in 1998. So I wasn't my entire life, the Knicks have never had a point guard. basically. So it's really refreshing to get our guy, Jalen Brunson, in the building and looking at the contract. It looks like a bargain. He might be an all-star. He is the reason why this Knicks team is doing what they're doing. And you can make the argument that Julius Randle's resurgence this year has a lot to do with Jalen Brunson. Not to take away from Randle at all. We're going to get into Randle a lot. But what Brunson brings to the table is taking the pressure off of Randle of being the playmaker, being the facilitator, being the guy to handle the ball late in the fourth quarter, which we do still got to get better at, by the way. Brunson takes this pressure off of Randle, and Brunson and Randle and RJ, they're complementing each other very well. You know what's so beautiful about this team right now, guys, is it feels like any given night, it's any other player's time to shine. It's a Randle night. It's an RJ night. It's a Quickly night. It's a Brunson night. Like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. Randle's playing out of his mind. Can we start putting some respect on my man Julius's name by now? Let's go. Julius Randle is playing like, he is having his best career season. Who would have thought that would happen? We thought that, 2 years ago was going to be his best career season, but he's playing better than that. And he was a most improved player that year. He was second All-NBA and an All-Star, and he's playing better. What's different about Randle this season is, like I said, about Brunson really opening up his game, but also, he is just playing the game with pure force and dominance and resurgence. Like, his jump shot has been phenomenal recently, which is a big, big part of his game. When Julius Randle's hitting the three-point jump shots, he was 5 of 13 last night. He had 8 3-pointers against the Cavs. When his three-point jump shot's hitting the way it's doing, his game just completely gets unlocked. But my biggest thing about Randle is he's a bully. He just goes to the paint with violence, pure force, crashing his own offensive rebounds, bullying people in the paint, setting a tone, playing with that 90s Knicks energy. And I feel like he's embodying what it really means to be a New York Knick. He's in year 4 with this squad. And I think it's time for us as a Knicks fan base to freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like embrace Julius Randle, because I still see people saying trade him. Why are we still saying trade him? Just accept what we have in Julius Randle. He is playing out of his freaking mind. He's dunking on people. He's playing with high energy, high intensity, and he's not perfect. There's some plays where you're scratching your head still, but at the end of the day, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Julius. I absolutely love to see what I'm seeing from Julius Randle, man. So the inside guys all put Randle plus 3/4 for Brunson in their all-star reserves. Hope it happens. Can't remember the last time the Knicks had 2 Knicks in an all-star. Well, Joey, the last time the Knicks had 2 all-stars were back in 2012 and 13, around either one of those years. That was with Carmelo Anthony and Tyson Chandler. That was the last time the Knicks had 2 freaking all-stars. So that'll be a big time thing for this Knicks team if they can get both Brunson and Randle as all-star reserves, man. Let's freaking go. They're representing the Knicks big time. Quentin Grimes, underrated from three-pointer. Absolutely. Quentin Grimes is that 3-and-D player, and I also love his ability to put the ball on the floor. As you see right here, boom, dunking on them. That was before the half. That was great. That was a great play from Quentin Grimes. His defense has been phenomenal, and everything about Quentin Grimes I've been liking. I would like to see him get a little more involved. Gideon, what's up, Gideon? Randle playing lockdown defense, 100%. Randle coming through in the clutch, 100%. IQ was a spark plug too. Yes, he was. Let's not forget about RJ. How can we forget about RJ? Any of you guys that's been following my channel since I started it, you know that RJ is my guy. And RJ Barrett, these past couple of games, stats-wise, right, he had 19 points and a little inefficiency. But when you need him to make the shot, he makes the shot. How about RJ hitting the game winner in the corner? That was a great possession because I was getting a little frustrated with the Knicks in the fourth quarter. Because first of all, we shouldn't have been in overtime in the first place. We were up by 7 points with a couple minutes to go, and I don't like them going to ISO late in the game when Brunson's just dribbling the ball out, and then it's just a tough shot clock violation. Let's see the ball move. So it was really beautiful to see when the Knicks were down by 2 points with around 30 seconds to go in overtime. Julius Randle kicks it to Brunson. Brunson makes the extra pass to a wide-open RJ Barrett. RJ, you got to hit that shot, bro. You got to hit that shot. And what does he do? He cashes it. Swish right in front of the Boston Celtics bench. Gives the Knicks the lead. Down by 2 points, hitting that three-point jump shot. That just shows you the ice in RJ Barrett's veins. For whatever reason, when it comes to the Boston Celtics, RJ Barrett is going to hit a game winner like we saw last year. Shout out my guy, RJ Barrett. And I just love what I'm seeing from him, man. He came alive when it mattered the most. Exactly, Gideon. Jeff says Randle signing posters after the game. He should look to dunk more often. He can be scary. I mean, dude, are you seeing what Randle's doing out there on the floor? Like, we know what Randle, who he is as a player by year 4 with this team, but he's unlocking a different potential of his game because he is very athletic for the size. And I think a big difference of Randle this season as well that I've noticed is his ball handling, is his dribble packages. His crossover is so tight. I mean, I don't think we've seen Randle be able to keep the ball on the string like this ever as a Knick. I feel like usually when he's trying to dribble and size people up, it's like it's all over the place. He turns it over, but now it's tight. You know, it's very efficient with his ball handling. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's crossing people up. He's driving to the paint. He's finishing through contact. He's dunking on people. Bam. I mean, Randle, you can't say enough things about him. Also playing great defense. Also very efficient on the rebounds, which is very important, especially without Mitchell Robinson. We need Randle to be on those boards big time. And he's doing just that, man. He's doing just that. And how about the defense? We got to give the defense some love here. To force overtime, Jason Tatum had a chance to win it. I wouldn't say that was a great defensive effort from Grimes on that possession because Jason Tatum just sized him up and got a great look for the winner, but luckily he missed it. But at the end of the game, 5 seconds to go, Knicks up by 3 points. They double team Jason Tatum. He puts up a shot where it's contested. He misses it. And then I think Brogdon gets the board, and then he puts up the 3-pointer, and Brunson blocks it to win the game. Very great. Jericho Sims also had a phenomenal block late in the game as well. And that's the beautiful thing. Jericho Sims, this is his time. I mean, if you want a young player to really give his chance to this organization that he wants to be here long-term, now's your shot. With Mitchell Robinson being injured, Jericho Sims is no Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is very missed. But I like what I'm seeing from Jericho Sims. He's a pogo stick. We saw that play where he literally jumped up in the air 3 times in a row like a bunny. He jumped up, tipped it, jumped back up, got the rebound, jumped back up, dunk. So Jericho Sims is getting better, which we love to see. And I want to give a big shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein as well, because that Cavaliers game, he was the reason why we won defensively late in that game, getting the game-winning block on Donovan Mitchell. And we heard Hartenstein talk to the media, and he's like, yeah, I feel like I'm been letting the city down and the fans down, and he wants to be playing better. So he's holding himself accountable. He's definitely holding himself to a high standard, and things like that wins over this fan base. When you hold yourself accountable, when you know you're not playing to the standard that we expect from him. So shout out Isaiah Hartenstein. Hopefully he can continue to play better. I really like him as a human. I like him as a player, and big respect. Randle MVP. Say it louder, baby. Tibbs needs to play Cam and Obi more. Now, no matter what the Knicks do, whether they're winning or losing, we're always going to have something to say about Thibodeau's rotations, right? Because where's Cam Reddish? Still not out there. There might be a trade happening that we will see heading into the trade deadline, of course. But this is definitely a conversation. You know, the Knicks continuously don't play Obi Toppin. Let's see the minutes that he had. Obi Toppin had exactly 16 minutes off the bench, and Randle had 36 minutes. So it's obvious that Obi Toppin's role, it still seems like it's the same, where Obi Toppin is just a replacement for Randle when Randle can get some rest. But at the end of the day, when Randle's playing the way he's playing, it's hard to really blame at the same time. But Cam Reddish, it really stinks that he still cannot find his way in the rotation. But if the Knicks continue to win, I'm not going to complain, man. I love Cam Reddish. I absolutely do. But it seems like Tom Thibodeau really likes his 9-man rotation. And I'm sure there'll be a trade sometime soon, man. So last night, man, what that Knicks win does is it really makes this season something special in my eyes. Because when we lost Mitchell Robinson and we started losing, it kind of felt like we were losing our momentum and losing our positive season. Because at this point of the year, this is where you really need to start separating yourself and making sure that you can get into a playoff position. Because, you know, with Mitchell Robinson out for 3 to 4 weeks, these are critical times for this Knicks squad to string together some wins. Because we want to avoid the play-in tournament, right? We want to get that 6 seed. That is the goal, right? If we have to get into the play-in tournament as a 7 seed, hopefully we win that, obviously, and we can still make the playoffs. But the goal right now is the Knicks to make the freaking playoffs by any means necessary. If they got to go in the play-in, hopefully they win that tournament. But this season for me, when you're looking at it at the halfway point, or maybe we're a little past the halfway point, I think the goal should be playoffs. And not only playoffs, competing in the playoffs. Because we missed the playoffs last year, but the year before that, we made the playoffs and got freaking embarrassed and lost in 5 games. So this is the season where the Knicks have to make noise. First of all, make it there, right? Because that is not a guarantee. Second of all, when you make it, let's make some freaking noise, guys. Let's win some games. If we don't make it to the second round, let's at least make it to go game 6, game 7 even, please. Or let's get to the freaking second round. Because you know what we have this season, guys? We have players like Jalen Brunson who are clutch players to organize things late in the fourth quarter. Julius Randle had clutch after clutch bucket last night late in the fourth quarter, playing like an actual star. Like he's playing like an all-star. You see all these teams. You see the Celtics. You see the Brooklyn Nets. You see the 76ers. You see all these, Cleveland Cavaliers, Milwaukee Bucks ahead of the Knicks, right? What do they all have? They all have a star that when you need to win the game with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that you can go isolation and get a bucket, right? Every single team in the East that's good has those types of players. Obviously, the Celtics with Jason Tatum, the Brooklyn Nets with both Kyrie and Kevin Durant. The Sixers, they got James Harden and they got Embiid. The Milwaukee Bucks, they got Giannis. You hear what I'm trying to say here? The Cavs, they got Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks, we got Randle. We got Brunson. We got RJ. I mean, we got players that are stepping up in the fourth quarter. And that is a beautiful thing because I feel like the biggest problem with this Knicks organization the past few years has been lacking clutch players when we need to step up, lacking that star talent. Now, are we a championship caliber team? I don't think so. I think we can all agree with that. But the beautiful thing about how this Knicks team is constructed, which really gets me giddy, you look at the contracts of Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and RJ Barrett. They're pretty cheap. I know you look at it number-wise, it's not that cheap. It's $100 million for all of them. But when you compare their contracts to the other stars around the league, we can afford a super mega contract. And we have all the picks in the world. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't know what the type of move we're going to make at the trade deadline. Maybe this is more of the offseason. But whenever a disgruntled star becomes available, we have the ammo to go get that star. And we have the financial flexibility to afford getting a mega star paired up with all of Brunson, RJ, and Randle. Right? So this Knicks team is positioned very well for the future. And I know that we're living in today. We're living off of a win last night, and we still have a season that we need to talk about the roster right now. But I do want to remind the Knicks that they are in a pretty good spot. Extending RJ Barrett was a very smart move. Extending Julius Randle is looking like a smart move because he's getting paid not a lot of money based on what he's performing. He's playing like someone that should be getting paid a little bit more money. Same with Jalen Brunson. So you look at those 3 contracts, and you're like, oh, wow, the Knicks can even afford a mega deal. Because that's what this Knicks team is lacking for a championship contender, right? If you want to talk about winning a championship, which is what this is all about, go get a superstar. Now, who that superstar is, that is obviously up for grabs. We don't know who is the next guy to become available. But I think that this Knicks team, they're positioned in a very good spot, man. And I absolutely love that we're finally seeing a Knicks team that was built through the draft, and our young core is out here playing winning basketball. We drafted RJ Barrett and developed him into the man he is today. We drafted Mitchell Robinson. I know he's injured, but he is a beast. We drafted him and we groomed him into the man he is today. We drafted Emmanuel Quickley, who is a big piece to this team. We went out there and we got Julius Randle in free agency. He's grown with this Knicks team in year number 4. We go out there and we get Jalen Brunson in free agency. It hasn't been perfect, right? I think 2 off seasons ago was a complete, utter disaster when we got Evan Fournier, we got, Alec Burks, and we re-signed Burks, we re-signed D-Rose, we brought in Kemba Walker. That was a nightmare. It has not been perfect, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm raving about this Knicks front office, but I think that the job that they've done of having a vision of building through the draft, developing our own young core, and then allocating it through free agency and complementing it well, I think they're doing a pretty darn good job. I really do. Especially when you look at this team lacking a true superstar. We got stars in Randle and Brunson that are playing at all-star level. And Knicks fans, we should be appreciative of that and be very content. And also hungry for more. We absolutely should be hungry for more, man. And I'm excited to continue to see what this Knicks team does. Now, I want to get your guys' thoughts in the live chat right now, because we can never beat the Brooklyn Nets. Why can't we beat the Nets? What are your thoughts about the game tomorrow? What are your thoughts about the game tomorrow? I want to get your thoughts right now. Obi and Cam can develop here too. We did develop Obi. I don't think we're developing Obi as good as we could because of Julius Randle, which is not Obi's fault. I do think that if Obi Toppin got drafted somewhere where he was the starting power forward and he was playing starting caliber minutes, he'd be a very freaking good player. I'm not complaining because Julius Randle's playing like a freaking star, so you can't complain. But I do think Obi has a lot of talent that he's just not tapping into. But when it comes to the game against the Brooklyn Nets, do you guys have confidence in winning? Because I just don't know why we can't beat that team. We could beat the Celtics, who are a better team than us. We could beat the Cavs, but we just can't beat the Nets. I don't think we've beat the Nets once with Kevin Durant. Is that true? Do I have that right? Is that a sad fact that I just brought up to us? Well, let's change that crap. I hope you Knicks fans are going tomorrow to Brooklyn. Yes, I love the fact that our team is mostly homegrown. We were good for drafting good players that were traded, then blew up elsewhere. Yeah, exactly. It feels refreshing, and that's my point, RC. Like, I want us Knicks fans to start like appreciating the fact, like, wow, we're actually doing what a good organization's supposed to do: drafting your own players, developing them into players that they become to be impactful starters and impactful role players and help you win. We're doing that. RJ, Mitch, quickly, throw in Obi, throw in Quentin Grimes, throw in Deuce, throw in Jericho. I mean, these are all our draft picks. These are like I love thinking of it as our babies, even though I'm a baby technically. I mean, I'm the same age as Mitchell Robinson, right? Literally, we both have the same exact birthday and the same birthday year. But it just feels good that we have an organization that drafted well and developed well. And I feel like the past 4 or 5 draft classes, they haven't been perfect, but I think that the way that this Knicks team has been consistent on developing their players is really good, especially with the big contracts that we did give out besides Evan Fournier has all been good. Brunson and Randle. KD might not play tomorrow. Got to get this job regardless. Oh, is that true? I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, that is no KD equals our best chance. Okay, Kevin Durant might be out. Let's freaking go get the dub. Let's go steal the dub in Brooklyn. Come on, baby. Let's go. I'm pumped up. I want to go to the game now. I've never actually been to Barclays. I've been to Barclays for other reasons, but not a Brooklyn game. And I love that Knicks fans represent hard in Brooklyn. I can't stop watching that RJ Barrett shot in the corner. Bro, I was watching the game last night with all my friends, and I was freaking out. And when RJ hit that shot, bro, I was freaking out. I was like, that's my guy. I watched him grow up with this team. Like, it just feels so good when you see RJ, like, hit a shot like that. And we as Knicks fans, we watched that man grow up and drafted as a young 19-year-old. And now he's just, like, becoming just a clutch freaking player, man. Oh, it feels so good. It really does, man. There's a lot of things that this Knicks team has to improve on. We're not perfect. I get all that. But if you're watching that team last night and you're not giddy right now, what are you doing, right? Like, this is a good time to be a Knicks fan. This is the best Knicks team since the Melo days. 2012, 10 years, a decade. This Knicks team is better than the 4th seed team. Even if we're not the 4th seed this year, which probably won't happen, this Knicks team is better than that 4th seed team by a big margin. We had Elfrid Payton as our freaking point guard that year, guys. That shows you as well that I know everyone thought that was a fluke, but when you buy into the system of Tom Thibodeau and you have Randle playing the way he's playing, and now RJ's better than what he was in that year, because remember, RJ in year 2 was just simply catch and shoot 3-pointers, and he was very good at it, shooting at 40%. Now he's doing more attacking the paint, shooting off the dribble and stuff. But we're better than that 4th seed team. We are. Jalen Brunson is here. RJ's better in year 4. Quickly is couple more years older. This is the best Knicks team that we've seen in a decade. Now, I don't know what that turns into. I don't know what the end result is. We need Mitch healthy for the playoffs. I'll tell you that much. And I'm sure he will be back. And we need to make sure that we continue to win when he's injured. And I really, really like it. Michael says in the chat, Quentin Grimes is elite. Let's go. Put some respect on Grimes' name. What are your guys' thoughts of Quentin Grimes? I think he is a very underrated player on this team that not a lot of people talk about because he always hits the timely shots. He always plays elite defense, and he doesn't get as much offensive looks that I'd personally like because we have so many freaking weapons with Brunson and RJ and Randle, and I can't complain, man. This is the best Knicks team ever. All right, Dre. Dre's really out here. I love it. But let me know your guys' thoughts of Quentin Grimes. I mean, I think he deserves some love, right? He deserves some love. Let me hear your guys' thoughts. Grimes needs more looks. Great rotation player, needs to assert himself in the offense. Yeah, I agree. I think he is a player that needs more looks. But then you hear the reason why he's not getting looks is because of the guys around him. It's like, makes sense. Grimes is a beast, but needs more touches for sure. Let's please forget about those Phil Jackson Knicks era. I don't know what you're talking about, Joey. Phil Jackson? Who's that? He ran the Knicks? I don't know what you're talking about. Love Grimes. When his shot starts falling consistently, he's going to be a problem. His jump shot is so freaking pure, man. So freaking pure. And another player I want to talk about, who we've been talking about all these players, but Immanuel Quickley. Can we give our guy Immanuel Quickley some love real quick? Can we please? Because I think the next level of Immanuel Quickley's game is his three-point jump shot. We saw Immanuel Quickley as a rookie, like, unlock his three-point jump shot, where I thought this guy was going to be like the next, I don't know, but just step back, three-pointer, sidestep, contested threes, and that's not even that much part of his game. You know, Immanuel Quickley is more of a guard that you're seeing. He loves to attack the paint, and he loves those floaters, and he loves those, like, mid-range fadeaways. He needs to start getting in rhythm from three more. I think Immanuel, and I want to see his stats for the year, his, like, percentage-wise, because I'm kind of curious. Because I think he's still missing that three-point, like, breakout. He had a couple threes last night, which I like, but I don't know. I still think there's another level to Quickley's game that we haven't seen from three. So IQ is shooting 33.8% from three-point land. I definitely think that could be better, for sure. I really, really think he can. Yeah, so IQ 12.5 points per game. Love it. 85% free throw shooter, 43% from the field, 27 minutes per game. Yes, Tibbs. Give him those minutes. I love it. I definitely think that Immanuel Quickley has another level to his game, that because he could take anybody off the dribble. I love his ability to just, like, you pick and roll, you set a screen. Oh, you got the big on Quickley. He's going by you. I mean, his first step is too elite, too quick. Whip, gets right by you. Quick little floater. It goes in every freaking time. But I do want to see Quickley kind of shooting the three more and hitting it. And I think that Quickley's game is going to just evolve before our very eyes. I mean, he's only in year 3. I'm hopeful that the Knicks extend him. And I don't think he's going to be that expensive because he is a role player. The Knicks got to make sure that Quickley's a Knick for life because he's a core piece to this team. And I didn't even bring up the most important piece of Quickley's game, his freaking defense. His defense has been so good for this Knicks squad. And without Quickley, the bench unit would literally be trash because Deuce McBride, he's been very interesting. His defense has been great, but his offense is – Deuce just cannot score in this league right now. He can't do it. Whenever he goes to the G League, he puts up like 35 a game. But for whatever reason, for the Knicks, he can't score. So there's no offense from Deuce. Obi, I feel like Obi gets buckets in like all of a sudden he gets like 7 points in 2 minutes. And then, so off the bench, it's really just Quickley and RJ runs with that second unit as well. So, guys, I appreciate you tuning into this Knicks Media live stream. After last night, I'm like, I got to go live on Knicks Media, man. I know I have not been making as much content here on this channel as much as I would like because there's a lot of things happening in my life that's keeping me busy regarding work and regarding other things that I'm not going to bore you guys with. But I just want to say real quick, man, I appreciate you guys sticking with me, even though I'm not as consistent as I would like to be. I'm watching every game. I'm tweeting about all the games. I'm going to try to be more consistent. And I just want to say, man, thank you, Knicks Nation. This channel, it means a lot to me. I built this thing from, the 2020 season, and it's been a lot of fun. And I just want to say to all you guys that tunes into my streams, even though it's not as consistent as I would like, it really does mean a lot to me, man. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Knicks Nation, I freaking love you guys. We're going to freaking keep going this season. We're going to keep making noise, and let's freaking go. Your boy's going to be making more content. I promise you that. And hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to wrap up the show here now, guys. Let's go win tomorrow against Brooklyn. All right? Let's freaking go. I'm amped up. That Knicks game, I'm still living on a high. I'm still freaking living on a high off that last night. But let's go, Knicks. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's go. We got my man John in the chat. What do you think of the next 5 to 6 home games? Brooklyn counts. All right. Before I go, I gotta talk to my man John. So, including Brooklyn, I'm gonna check the schedule so I got it in front of me. No KD. We're beating the Brooklyn Nets, John. The Lakers, we got LeBron's number, baby. We're beating the LA. Now we're versing Miami. This is the first time I've versing Miami all season, right? Which is really interesting. I always thought of that. I'm like, how have we not versed the Heat yet? That's like one of my least favorite teams in the league. So I'll say we'll lose that game because I'm not going to just sit here and say we're going to win everything. That Clippers game I might be going to on Saturday. So we're going to beat the Clippers, and then we're going to lose to the Sixers. So that's my realistic thing. So I got the Knicks winning against Brooklyn, winning against LA, losing against Miami, beating the Clippers, and losing against the Sixers. So I got them going 3-2. 3-2. Give me 3-2, baby. The Heat is such a more important game for the standings. Yeah, I think they're a half game ahead of us, right? The Heat is probably one of my least favorite teams in the NBA. By the way, like for whatever reason, I hate. And I think we all know as Knicks fans, we never beat the Heat. For whatever reason, the Heat just have our number. Like the past couple of years, it's been that way. So if I could choose which teams I'd want to beat, it'd be the Heat, of course. It'd be Brooklyn, of course, and it'd be the Sixers. If we lose to both LA teams at home, cool. Don't really care. West Coast teams, whatever. So that's going to wrap up the stream, guys. Let's go get the dub tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys next time. Let's freaking go Knicks. Peace and love, everybody.